Hello again, sweet darlings. I've been reflecting since starting this channel about the view in society that men are the problem. We blame the patriarchy for all of our problems, and the habit of husband bashing is widely accepted. It's incredibly rare to meet a woman who doesn't moan about her husband, let alone one who actually sings his praises in front of others. Now, you might want to stop me right there. What's the big deal, I hear you ask? Women need to vent, most men aren't saints, and why should wives be always complimenting their husbands in front of others? And you would have a point. I am not arguing that men are saints and all of these things are the fault of women alone. Their husbands certainly made some mistakes along the way, otherwise their wives wouldn't feel the need to moan to everybody else about them. And of course, women don't need to spend all of their time singing their husbands' praises. But I'll bet you any amount of money that the women who aren't doing that in front of other people are not suddenly transformed when they get home and praise their husband in private. It is far more likely that those women who moan about their husbands in public are considerably more whingy and emotionally manipulative behind closed doors. All of this is leading to my main conclusion, which is going to annoy some women and confuse the men out there who keep hearing that they're the problem. Ladies, it's down to us. When I consider who has the greater power to transform marriage and help men rise up to the standards we dream of, it isn't other men. It's women. In a marriage, when a man may have spent years discussing issues with his wife and she withdraws or is unable to change, he's out of options. He cannot force her to change. And doing the things that she might want him to, such as take her on more holidays, be sweet and tender all of the time, watch the kids more, at this stage, is only going to reduce the amount that she respects him. And despite what we're often being told, the ideal guy is not the pushover. He isn't the guy who gets you a glass of wine while you gab with the girls, and he isn't the guy who's afraid to ask you for a favor. Deep down, we all know that we want a man who's masculine and who has authority, who doesn't let us behave like toddlers and push him around, or push the boundaries to see just how much we can get out of him. I used to believe that because men are the heads of the household, that they really have the power to change their wives. And in some cases this is true, if the man is already quite masculine and incredibly patient. That certainly was the case for me, and I'm grateful that my husband was willing to put up with so much arguing and tension, and be willing to explain things several times before a lot of my feminine habits clicked for me. But in marriages where women are feeling that their husbands are the ones who could be doing more and might be waiting for this to happen, it's actually those same women who can transform their marriage. A feminine woman ignites something in a man which is hard to describe until you see it happen. Being soft and vulnerable, asking him what he likes, going the extra mile, trying to look attractive for him. It's incredibly sad how all of these powerful tools have been removed from most women's arsenal, so that all we're left with when the going gets tough is moaning, withdrawing, or giving up on our men entirely. I had a family friend whose marriage was once on the rocks. They lived separate lives and simply shared a house. But the woman made a choice. She was going to start treating her husband a bit like her Prince Charming, regardless of how he behaved. She changed her tone, her energy around him, and he came alive with love for her once again. And their marriage is now stronger than it ever was. In other videos that I have shared, I've been trying to convey to women out there that we all can make a choice in life, to do whatever we can to make our marriages good, improve ourselves and grow, or we can blame others for why these things aren't just happening. I have found that it's incredibly empowering to realize that my approach has a massive impact on my husband, my children, my friends, and anyone who I might meet for the first time. I don't need to wait for someone else to bring out the best in me. I can just decide to be that woman. I don't need to wait for a date night to do something romantic. I don't need my husband to treat me like a princess in order to love him as I should. As I've said before, the more feminine I have become, the more my husband has stepped up for our family. Although we rely on our men, sometimes we have to rely on ourselves to steer our marriage towards the good and remind our husbands gently that what we have is special, is forever, and is absolutely worth fighting for. Don't get the reaction you want first time? Do it again. Don't give up on beauty, on a welcoming home, smiling, kisses, showing that you care, simply because you don't get the reaction you expect. Expect nothing, and do it simply because it's what you do when you love someone and made a vow before God to do it until the day that you die. Trying hard for your marriage isn't anti-female, oppressive, backward, or silly, regardless of what your friends or relatives who love to moan about their husbands might tell you. I found that a good rule of thumb is this: talk to your husband about your marriage issues before you call your mother or your friends. And don't take marriage advice from anyone whose marriage you don't actually admire. And I don't mean their lifestyle here, but their marriage, how they treat one another. I can still count on one hand the number of marriages I actually admire, but I hope society is turning around on this one, and that in my lifetime I might see many more happy and successful marriages. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video and being open-minded about learning new ways to help improve your marriage. I hope that if you like this video, you'll give it a like and consider subscribing or sharing this video with a friend. I hope to see you all here again soon for the next one, but in the meantime, take good care everyone, and God bless.